guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is part 2 of a Q&A you submitted questions for. In part 1, I answered questions that were more personal, relating to my life in Australia, my routine, my habits, things like that. But today's video, I'm going to be answering questions relating to nutrition and health. I got a lot of questions relating to the carnivore diet, electrolytes, sugar cravings. So yeah, let's dive in. How much meat is too much in one sitting? I've said this before, but it is really, really hard to overeat meat. Honestly, if you sit down and you try to eat just a piece of meat, just a steak, you will get to a point where you are full and you cannot eat anymore. When we compare this to something like potato chips, you can be eating those, you can get full, and you can keep eating and keep eating. Honestly, there's no limit to how much meat you can eat in one sitting. It also depends how many meals you're eating in the day, but just eat until you're full. That's all you have to worry about. Is supermarket meat still healthy to eat compared to grass-fed beef? I'm an ex-vegan now for a month, feeling and looking already way better now with just cheap supermarket meat, but I don't know if it's healthy in the long run. This is a topic a lot of people are divided on. Some people say that you need to be eating top quality grass-fed beef, that conventional beef doesn't compare. But then there's other people who say all meat is good meat. And I tend to fall in the second camp. When you compare the nutritional value of true grass-fed meat to conventional supermarket meat, it isn't that much different. There are certain nutrients. There's going to be a bit more omega-3 and a bit less omega-6, and some more CLA, some more vitamin A in grass-fed. But overall, they are pretty comparable. Now, we are talking strictly nutrition here. Of course, grass-fed beef is going to be better for the environment, and in terms of the treatment of the animals, it's probably going to be better. But my stance is buy what is in your budget. Eating conventional meat is better than not eating any meat at all. How can a sugar junkie get rid of the cravings and start eating right? Oh, sugar cravings, man, they are tough. Honestly, the best approach is to just quit cold turkey. And this is one of the reasons why I think the carnivore diet is so great. If you are eating a carnivore diet, you're pretty much cutting everything that is sweet out of your diet. With keto, you can still have stevia and other sweeteners. And while these aren't actually sugar, they can still trigger sugar cravings. When I went carnivore, when I completely cut myself off of all sweet tastes, my sugar cravings went away entirely. Now, that being said, sometimes I'll still have them here and there, and what I find works really well is to just have a spoonful of ghee, a slice of butter, and they're gone. Is it possible to have enough potassium and magnesium in the carnivore diet only with your meals? All right, so I had quite a few questions about electrolytes, and I have an entire video that is Electrolytes 101 for the carnivore diet, and it also applies to keto. So if you want a deep dive, you can check that video out. The short answer is potassium. Bone broth is an amazing source of potassium. If you drink 2-3 cups of potassium, if you drink 2 or 3 cups of bone broth a day, you're basically hitting your potassium needs. Salmon's a good source of potassium. Bacon's a good source of potassium. I know, bacon, right? Who thought it was a health food? Magnesium's a little bit trickier, and some people find they have to supplement. The thing with electrolytes, though, is they vary so much from person to person. If you exercise a lot, if you sweat a lot, if you live in a hot climate, you're going to need more. If you're sedentary, you live in a cold climate, probably going to need less. So there isn't really a one-size-fits-all. My question would be, how much butter would be considered too much? I like to put 2 tablespoons on my daily steak and 1 tablespoon in my daily bone broth. Honestly, there isn't really a limit for how much butter you can consume. As long as you're getting enough protein in throughout the day, go crazy. On the flip side, I say that if you have weight loss goals, you want to be hitting your protein goals every day, and you want to be eating a little bit less fat. So if you have fat loss goals, maybe don't go so crazy on the butter, but 3 tablespoons a day, that's not crazy. What are some good meat-only options to take and have at work on the carnivore diet? Not doing eggs or dairy initially, so wondering what kinds of things I could take that would be substantial enough. This is honestly the trickiest question I get because it's hard to transport meat. My top suggestion would be bone broth soup. You can heat this up in a microwave, the broth, and then add in some chicken, add in some beef, add in whatever type of meat that you want. Boom, easy, warm meal. Oh, you hear my wrist crack? Beyond that, honestly, just bring cooked beef, chopped up in cubes maybe, and reheat it. Sausages are a good option as well. Just make sure to watch out for fillers and added sugar and things like that. Pork rinds are a good addition to add on if you're finding you want a little bit of variety. But yeah, probably my top suggestion would be some sort of bone broth soup. I love eating lemons. I'm doing the carnivore diet and I'm well, but sometimes I eat a lemon. Do you think this is a good fruit? I don't think there's anything wrong with having a lemon here and there. You have to put everything in context. I'm sure there's someone out there who reacts poorly to lemons, and yeah, they should not include lemons in their diet if that is the case. But if you are including lemons, if you feel good including lemons, if you enjoy lemons, eat the lemons. And that's my answer for pretty much every food you can think of. Someone asked me earlier today on Instagram if I thought peanut butter was really that bad, if it was okay if they just had 1 tablespoon a day. And again, context. Peanut butter definitely has some negative traits. It's very high in omega-6. It's high in anti-nutrients. But if you do not react poorly to 1 tablespoon a day, then that's totally fine. It's working for you. I would like to know your opinion on sugar-free Monster drinks or sugar-free barbecue sauce. Is it okay to consume these or should I stay away from them? Oh, Monster drinks, I would stay away from. The thing with anything that's sugar-free is you have to look at what the replacement sweetener is. If it's an artificial sweetener, I would avoid. If they're using a natural sweetener, stevia or monk fruit, then yeah, that's probably okay. There is a line of barbecue sauces and ketchups and stuff that I use. It's an Australian company, Undivided Food Co., and they use monk fruit to sweeten some of their sauces. That is a way better alternative to artificial sweeteners. Now, with the Monster energy drinks, I'm going to assume they're using artificial sweeteners, and definitely avoid. Artificial sweeteners, while they may not have an impact on your blood sugar, they spike your insulin through the roof, and they have been linked to other diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's. So avoid artificial sweeteners, but natural sweeteners are a little bit better. Again, going back to the sugar cravings, if you're someone who really suffers from sugar cravings, then you probably want to get rid of all sweet taste. But not everyone is impacted the same way. So if you can include a little bit of barbecue sauce sweetened with monk fruit without having further sugar cravings, then nothing wrong. When on the carnivore diet, would deer or elk be a good alternative to beef? Wild meat is going to be pretty much the gold standard. These are going to be animals that were allowed to eat their natural diet. They're going to be very nutritious. The downside with wild meat, though, is it is often pretty lean. So yes, deer, elk, probably a really good choice. Totally fine to include, but just be conscious that they are lower in fat, so you might have to add more when cooking and when eating. Anyways, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet watched part 1, you can check it out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can click here. And if you're interested in starting a keto or carnivore diet, you can check out my coaching programs here. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.